Hey guys, it's Dave of My Freedom Smokes. Today I got kind of a comparison little video between the Vaporesso Revenger kit and the SMOK Alien. Right now, as far as the dual 18650 starter kit type of deals, 220 watts, the Alien's kind of reigning supreme. It's one of the ones everybody goes after. It's one of the more popular ones on the market. If you know somebody that vapes, you probably know somebody has one of the Aliens. Then comes the Revenger. It's been a great little device so far. Very similar specs. It also goes to 220 watts, dual 18650s, comes with a nice little top fill tank. So we just kind of want to have a little fun here and play around and show some comparisons between the two. First off, you see the size of the device is very similar. Revenger is a little taller, and then the width, very similar in the width. The Alien is actually a little wider. So you got a Revenger is slightly taller, but the Alien is slightly wider. And again, that way. They're almost identical that direction. The Alien offers your side fire, where you squeeze the whole thing and fires. The Revenger has more of a traditional button on one side. That could be a pro or con in comparing for some people. Some people really enjoy to be able to squeeze and fire. Some would prefer to have a smaller button. So you can't really give that to either one on that, because that is great. Both are great ways to fire the device. Now, as far as the tanks that come with them, this Alien comes with the TFV8 Baby Beast, which is a good little flavor tank, pretty good on clouds. It's a 3 mil capacity, great little top fill that's on all their TF style tanks, where it's kind of a push, turn and swivel design and fills up. The Revenger tank, or NRG tank that comes with the Revenger, is very similar as well, with a push and swivel, not quite as open, not as many moving parts, and still tops fills. The NRG tank you can get as a 2 mil or a 5 mil capacity. The ones we sell have the 5 mil. So you get a larger capacity with the Revenger kit. Another thing a lot of people would ask about would be the battery compartment, battery door. The Alien has a little slide lock and hinge door. Now this is a pretty cool design, unless you have maybe a slightly longer battery, and sometimes it's putting a little pressure on there and you may have that door pop open on you. The Revenger goes a little more traditionally with a magnetic battery door. Let's maybe pop that open. So that way you just got magnets to hold the door in place. Magnet pops out, you can replace the magnet. That's if you end up popping a magnet. I just kind of like the magnetic doors because it reminds me of like the old days when I had my Sigelli 150. And I have personally had some issues with smoke doors. Like I said, it's usually because it's people with longer batteries. I was using like the LG Browns. Those are slightly longer than maybe some of your Samsung, stuff like that. So I was using an Alien one time. I actually dumped my batteries in the driveway in the dark. Brown leaves, brown batteries everywhere. It was a mess. So I had to get a flashlight and go out there and find my batteries. So I would like something with some magnets. I give the battery door to the Revenger just because I just trust those magnets a little better maybe than a hinge door lock. All right. Let's see the finish and everything. The Revenger actually boasts about its finish and the way it's designed to be a lot more durable. I've been using this one for a few weeks and I don't see any paint scratches on here. As far as the Alien, I mean, you've probably all seen online, like I said, if you have buddies use them, you probably see the Alien sometimes that the finish does scratch off relatively easily. So if you want to have something tough and durable, I would say go with the Revenger just because that finish is holding up a lot better and it's a nice bright vibrant finish. Now, as far as the finishes and colors go, I had to give that one to the Alien because there's a lot more color variances and different options as far as customization and color with the Alien. And there's only a select few. I think there's only 3 on the market right now as far as colors for the Revenger kit, but they do have more in the works. But right now there's definitely more options for the Alien. It's really about all there is as far as comparisons. Everything else is pretty close. Like I said, they're both 220 watts. They're both dual 18650s. Okay, we can go over the boards. SMOK is using their own board in here. Vaporesso is using their Omni board, or a newer version of Omni board, which I've been really impressed with the Omni board. I've used it in the Revenger, I used it in the Vaporesso Attitude, and I also used it in the Revenant Cartel 160 watt mod. Pretty impressive little board. Reminds me a lot of the DNA as far as all the customizations and the efficiency of the board. This is the 2.0, so they did upgrade some of the user interface and some of the other options on there. So I think the board software in the Revenger is a little better than the Alien, so I'm going to give that edge to it as well. really, that's going to be all I have for you as far as comparison. If you want maybe something a little different than the Alien, maybe go out branch out a little bit. Like I said, a lot of people have the Alien. You know, try to impress your friends with something a little different. Check out the Revenger Kit by Vaporesso. If you have any questions about either of these devices, please leave them in the comments below. As always, I'm David with My Freedom Smokes, and thank you for vaping.